What is up, YouTube? If anybody can hear me and see me, let me know. Let me know, let me know. If anybody can hear me and see me. Am I coming in? Can anybody hear me and see me? I don't see any comments so far. Happy girl, hi. Happy Friday to you too, and happy Pisces new moon. Excuse my crazy hair, I'm trying to wear it natural. It's really damaged, so it looks a little crazy, like I've been stranded on a desert island. Kind of goes with the Pisces vibes though, right? Like desert island hair, you know? Hi Luann, hi Healed Heart. Hi happy girl, happy birthday. You're a Pisces. Hi Danny. Hi Elle. Oh, I wouldn't call it mermaid hair. You can kind of tell this is like how curly my natural hair is because I'm Cuban and Native American, but this is more so probably my Cuban. And then this is like my damaged hair. All the curl is out of it, but thank you, Healed Heart. Okay, so basically, let's do this. So I'm going to talk about the Pisces new moon that's happening. I know this is super last minute, and I did want to apologize for that. I've been a little bit like MIA this week, a little more than I had been. I was like really getting shit done there. If you didn't notice, for a few weeks when Mars was in my 10th, I was like pumping shit out and I was motivated and inspired. It was awesome. So if you're a Virgo rising, I envy you because Mars in your 10th house, like fucking motivates you, man. Anyways, and also just excuse my 2 nails that are missing. I'm human over here. Yeah, a lot of people have been recommending Olaplex. The stylist I was going to that was helping my hair, that's why my hair's looked fine in a lot of my videos the last few months, is because I was going to a salon and she was just washing it and styling it for me, and she was using salon products, so my hair would always look really good and I could get away with like not washing it. I've always been able to get away with not washing it for like a week, sometimes more. Yeah, every time I needed to wash it, I would just go to her and she would just do it for me because I didn't want to mess with it. It was like really scary when I messed with it. Hi Larissa, I missed you too. Oh my god, I don't think I've seen you in forever. Wow. I hope you're doing good. So yeah, anyways, I know a lot of you guys didn't come here to hear about my hair. If you do want to hear about my hair though, follow me on Instagram because I have been talking about it and kind of sharing my journey of trying to go back to natural hair. But anyways, so the Pisces new moon is happening. I'm Eastern Standard Time. Oh wait, I was talking about why I've been MIA. Well, it's Pisces season. It's kind of my excuse because Pisces runs away from everything, right? It's the fish. It's like easier to run away and just escape and avoid and neglect than to like face shit, right? Because like life's hard and shit. Hi Aniska. So basically, that's not necessarily what I've been doing. I don't know, like the last week or two, it's just like my mojo just went down. I don't really know what happened. I mean, I did have like a few personal things going on, so I think that kind of, you know, had something to do with it. But also at the same time, I don't know, I just kind of lost the motivation once Mars left my 10th house, and I'm hoping I'll get it back, but I've just decided like, okay, I was gonna take a little bit of a break. And so that's why I've not been posting as much. And I didn't do Aquarius for March, and I'm really sorry about that. I may still do it. I know it's like halfway through the month, but if you're an Aquarius or an Aquarius rising and you still want to see it, let me know. I didn't do that on purpose, I promise. It just, the day that I was gonna finally film it, that was the only one I had left for March, and something happened that day, and then I didn't film it, and then I've just not been like okay since. Like, not, I shouldn't say that. I've been okay. I'm fine. I'm like safe, I don't need help or anything, but I've just not been okay, like emotionally, okay? And so that's what I mean by that. So but I'm okay. I'm pulling through. We're good. So it's all good. But anyway, so the Pisces new moon, and I will timestamp this as well, so people can just get to the point when they watch this back. But the Pisces new moon is basically early in the morning tonight, technically tomorrow morning. So it's, I can't remember the exact time. I want to say it's somewhere between like 1 a.m. and 4 a.m. I should have looked. I know what's happening in the chart, just not what time the new moon is. Like, I have the picture of the chart in my head, but not the new moon exactly, like the time of the new moon. Thank you, Emma. I appreciate that. So anyways, yeah, so the Pisces new moon's happening basically tonight while we're sleeping, depending on where you are in the world, or today if you're in another place of the world. I'm Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, I did just post a ritual over on my Patreon. You can access that for only $5, and I post rituals normally every month. So $5 a month, you get rituals and weekly horoscopes and pick a card. So if that's something that you're into, go sign up for Patreon. And anyway, so yeah, the Pisces new moon's happening tonight, and this new moon is like so fucking cool. Like, it's a lot. It's emotionally overwhelming. Has anybody else had like an emotionally overwhelming week? And I'm going to talk about some of the things that we're all going to be seeing and that you could possibly be seeing. I don't think I'm going to go over the signs, so I hate to like I hate to like kill the mood, but I don't think I'm going to go over the signs for this one. I just don't really, I don't know, I'm just not feeling that tonight, because then we'd be here for like a whole hour, and I'm just not trying to do all that, so I'm sorry. But I did talk about it in the sign readings, so you can go back and check, unless you're an Aquarius, and then again, I'm really sorry. But so anyways, the new moon is tonight. I'm sorry, I'm like all over the place. Pisces new moon. It is Pisces, like I said in the March 2021. If you want to know about Pisces, go back and watch that video. I went into depth, but Pisces deals with anything mystical, ethereal, anything, hi Alana, anything otherworldly, anything spiritual, healing. It's the last sign of the zodiac, right? So it deals with endings. It deals with anything to do with the past as well, right? So you can see a lot of themes of like past lives, or all kinds of different spirituality it can deal with. And where Virgo is more of like the physical, which is Pisces opposite. Virgo is more of like the physical. Pisces is more of the ethereal, more of the imagination. But not only that, just because it's ethereal, or because it is otherworldly or transcendental or spiritual, doesn't mean that it's not necessarily real, and that's why Pisces and Virgo, like, if you can be a little bit of both, you would be technically balanced, right? So anyways, Pisces is it's a very, very mystical sign. It's also deeply creative. It's a water sign, which deals with sensitivities, which deals with emotions, our emotional selves. And so basically any kind of Pisces energy brings up emotion on like a grand scale. It's also about connectedness, like staying connected to the whole, connected to the different spiritual realms. Now, it doesn't mean that every Pisces is like this. I've met Pisces that are very like religious and not very spiritual. I've met Pisces that weren't very spiritual at all. It really depends on other placements in your chart, but Pisces energy is to transcend the physical reality, right? And so this new moon is in Pisces, number one. And so you could be noticing these kind of otherworldly, spiritual, mystical experiences, synchronicities. Now, Pisces energy is also very much about healing, and it is also very much about surrender and letting go, and you know, kind of understanding your patterns as well. So patterns are a big thing that you could be noticing coming up in your life around this time. Now, the other big things about this new moon, which makes this new moon like crazy and just like really badass, is that Neptune is with this new moon, very close to being conjunct. And Neptune deals with all the crazy shit, all of the crazy, mystical, ethereal, dreamy, anything that blurs the lines of reality, basically. You know, it can, and that can be positive or negative depending on how you look at it, right? And I say positive and negative lightly, right? Because that's based on your own perception, which is technically not even real. But basically, sorry, but basically, I don't know why I say basically all the time. I'm sorry about that. But so Neptune is very, very dreamy, also deals with water. You want to think of like Poseidon, right? When you're thinking of Neptune. It really goes into the very, very, all the way like to the end of the spectrum of that which is non-physical, that which transcends the physical world, imaginary, also escapism, anything that blurs the lines of reality to make them less harsh, which is where we can get into lying to ourselves, deceiving ourselves, deception, escapism, drugs, alcohol, you know, victimhood, sacrifice, you know, all of these different things. But it can also be very artistic and creative and beautiful and spiritual as well, and healing as well. So we kind of have like a double whammy of this really mystical, spiritual kind of surrender, kind of letting go energy, right? And all of the other traits that I've named. And then we also have Venus there. And Venus is exalted in Pisces, so she's super fucking powerful there. Venus in Pisces is, you know, Venus is basically the equivalent to Aphrodite in mythology. And it deals with femininity, it deals with beauty, love, relationships, money, anything luxurious, right? What we're attracted to, all of those types of things. So anything that deals with that, style, art, it can be all of those things. Our preferences, what we want, or what makes us comfortable, our desires, all of these types of things. So with Venus on this new moon, and then also super fucking powerful, and with Neptune there, basically what this means is we are going to be seeing themes of this, relationships, right? Like, to keep it really basic, to kind of, just because I know a lot of you guys are still learning, to keep it just the basics. Venus is, like I said, relationships, beauty, love, attractiveness. Sorry, we got a cat today for the Pisces new moon, more like he got us, kind of came to us, and he's meowing. He's very, he needs a lot of affection. But yeah, we found him and kind of just decided to take him in. So happy Pisces new moon to us. But no, he's super cute. And yeah, so anyways, but anyway, so relationships, love, you're going to notice themes of relationships, love, transcendental, you know, experiences. Pisces kitty, I know it's where we're like, you know, he might be a Pisces, but He's still young. We think he's probably not older than 6 months. So I'm actually thinking a Scorpio, because I don't see him being a fire sign because he needs a lot of affection. I don't see him being an earth sign, and I don't see him really being an air sign. And so the last water sign was Scorpio. So I feel like he's probably a Scorpio. But anyways, and he's kind of got that like pointed look that Scorpios have, if you know what I mean. Especially like more so Scorpio risings, but sometimes Scorpio suns have them too. So anyway, there's always a look to Scorpio. Not that it's a bad look, or that's not what I was, just a look, you know, a pattern. But basically, with Venus here on the new moon, you could see a lot coming up with your relationships with people. Past relationships, letting go of past things to do with relationships, patterns with relationships. You could see really amazing also spiritual connections around this time. You know, there could be people coming into your life that or relationships in your life that are really helping you transcend something spiritually, or let go of something, or you know, kind of sacrifice something. Sacrifice could be a pretty big theme that you could see as well. Hi, Sin Luhu. And yeah, so also with the Pisces energy and the new moons are new beginnings. Now, because the moon is kind of dark, right? Because the sun is kind of like taking over, and so the moon is kind of like dark in the rays of the sun as the sun and the moon are meeting. So basically, the new moon is kind of like a time of planting seeds. So for what I noticed personally for me, I noticed themes of the new moon, but they're more subtle. New moons are more subtle. They're not normally, at least for me, and not all the time, but at least for me, what I've noticed in my life is that new moons are more subtle. They're not as like boom in your face, like massive events, massive intensity, massive trouble sleeping, massive this, massive that. You know, new moons are like kind of new beginnings, but it's like planting a seed. Like when you plant a seed, you're planting it into the dirt, into the dark. It's like when a baby is born, or when you're pregnant, you know, the baby is inside of your stomach in the dark. So birth happens in the darkness, right? So that's the new moon. And I think it's very symbolic because that's how creation happens, right? And so it's creating something, but you may not see all of the outcome of it just yet. So, and since Pisces deals so much with past and endings and letting go and releasing, you may see a lot of that as well before you see something new kind of start being, you know, start coming along. So yeah, major themes with relationships. Some of you may notice themes with money as well coming up. I will say this, even though this energy looks very positive, and that would also depend on how it's affecting your chart too. And it's also trining Pluto. I forgot to mention. We'll bring that up in a minute though. There could be, you do want to watch out for themes of deception or things that seem too good to be true, but also this could also, the main way I see this playing out for most people is that they deny themselves an opportunity because they think it's too good to be true, right? So the too good to be true could actually be the lie. You know what I mean? And so because this energy with Venus there, and Venus is very powerful in Pisces, she loves being in Pisces. So she can kind of like do her best here. You know, she can do like some of her best work here, and she's a benefic planet. So I don't think that this is going to be, depending on how it's affecting your chart, you want to look where you have Pisces and if you have any planets that it's aspecting, if you know how to do all that. But if it's if it's like squaring something in your chart or opposing something, you want to be careful that you are not being deceived in some way, or that you are not being a little bit too unrealistic in some way, because those are some things that you could have pop up. Now, this new moon and Venus and Neptune that are all together are trining Pluto down in Capricorn. And Pluto, like I've stated before, is destruction, darkness, control, power, intensity. So this new moon is bringing possibly, but it's a trine, so it's easy flowing energy. So I think this new moon could be possibly like bringing some kind of really intense transformation that really kind of changes something or flips the script on something, like where maybe before we thought things were going one way and then all of a sudden they're like going the complete opposite way, and we're like, how the hell did that happen? That's how I think that Pluto trine is going to play out. I think it's going to add in more of an intensity to this. I think it's going to add more in like of like a stick to this energy, to where it's like more profound, it's more transformational, it's more, it actually causes like a change that can really, really help, can really, really help a certain situation. Now, for a lot of people, this is going to be internal as well. It may not be external, because we're dealing with the, kind of otherworldly, transcendental, mystical, spiritual side of life, rather than the physical, what you can see, feel, and touch side of life, right? We're dealing more with like our emotions and our inner worlds, and Pisces deals with getting away as well, getting away and kind of getting away from the everyday life or the everyday norm, taking a break, resting, sleeping, pay attention to your dreams these next couple days. And some people could even notice these themes up until for like the next week or two. So watch out for that as well. But this is just a really amazing time to do some kind of inner work, like inner soul work, inner healing, to do some kind of ritual, to tap into some kind of transcendental state, to do some kind of really deep meditation, to tap into your gifts, to tap into your spiritual connection. I mean, this is the time for that. Like, this is probably like the best new moon that I have seen for any kind of like any of this stuff, anything that deals with spirituality, healing, all of that. Like, this new moon could possibly, I don't know if I could even think of a better new moon for doing something like this. So but like I said, since it's a new moon, it's a little more subtle. So and some people may notice it a little bit more than others, but like for me, for example, this week, what I've really noticed, because I kind of start noticing themes about sometimes up to a week before the new moon, but especially like, the days like the days leading up to the new moon is when I really start noticing, what this new moon or even full moon is kind of like bringing in my life before the moon's even in the sign that it's going to have the new moon in, which was really crazy, because it all kinds of is building. So for me, like what I've noticed is patterns, massive patterns. Thank you, Sinlu, I appreciate that. Somebody earlier said I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. It's like, okay. And I kind of don't. I'm kind of a little out there right now. I mean, I know like what I'm talking about, but it's hard to like stay focused for some reason. But anyway, so what am I talking about? Patterns. So this weekend, or this past week, I've noticed massive themes with patterns. And I've also been noticing I'm connecting to music on like a insane fucking level. And Pisces, when I think of Pisces, I also think of music and musicians and art and creativity and all of that stuff. Anything that really brings out your spirit, like anything that frees your spirit, that makes you feel like a free spirit in any type of way. That is what you want to connect to right now. So thank you. I appreciate that, Demille. But yeah, music. I randomly have been thinking of songs that like I've heard, maybe not even a lot, but I just like they come to me and I'm like, oh my God, I've heard that song, like forgot about that song. And that really goes with what I'm going through right now or how I'm feeling right now. And then I go and play that song and I like go into the fucking song. Like I am in the fucking song. Like the song is a part of like my body and my soul and my cells and like everything. Like I am the fucking song. Like it becomes like a whole full on experience, like a song orgasm or something. And I almost go into like a trance, you know? And so music is really big right now. And like, yeah, I always love music, but like these last few days, it's like it's like it goes right to my fucking soul, dude. I'm like, holy shit. That's Pisces. It's super empathic. So it feels, you know what I mean, on so many different levels because it's mutable, you know? And so it reaches like a piece of you that it doesn't, like, that things don't normally reach, you know? And so if that makes sense. So connecting to music, anything that just makes you feel, anything that just sets your soul like on fire and makes your soul just feel good, that just makes you feel aligned spiritually and energetically. Any kind of energy work is great right now. Meditation is great right now. Um, you know, hypnosis or like, you know, you can find little like hypnosis videos on YouTube, past life regressions, like all of the woo woo shit is the shit right now that you would be tapping into. um, and releasing, you know, this is not a fucking time to be like putting in action and pushing shit and forcing shit and controlling shit and making shit your own way and like saying no, it's got to be this way, you know, and like being all mad and shit. This is not, no, you are not in the right frequency right now for all that, you know. This is a time where you just need to relax, like completely fucking relax. And you know, this happened to me a few weeks ago. I was listening to a meditation and they were talking about relaxing your body, but they like actually like went step by step, like started with like one part of your body, relax your muscles, the next part of your body, relax the muscles. And by the time it got to my face, I didn't even realize my face muscles weren't relaxed until they said to relax your face muscles. And I was like, holy shit. Muscles that I never even like knew, like I never even like think about to relax, right? Like when I'm trying to relax. And so um it just, when I was laying there after everything was relaxed, I was like, oh my fucking God, this feels great. Like, I need to fucking do this more often because I could go to sleep just like that. I never realized, like, just how unrelaxed we are and how tense we are. And we've, like, gotten used to being that way, right? And so, Pisces is about relaxing, like, really completely relaxing. So, don't put too much pressure on yourself, right? My sun sign is a Libra. I'm a Libra. I don't know why I said it. My sun sign is a Libra. My sun sign is Libra. um, so basically, relaxing, don't push yourself too hard, don't fight shit. Now is not the time to be fighting shit, okay? It's the time to let shit go. Let shit be where it is, right? Like, go into an acceptance state where you're just like, yeah, that is that way. I don't have to like it. I don't have to be like a part of it. But okay, you know, like everything is everything, right? Everything is just everything. What are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? That's the kind of mindset to have right now. Like, just be in the flow. That is going to put you in the flow. If you're frustrated, if you're stressed out, if you're upset, you know, you're holding on to something, you're fighting something. And right now is not the time to do that. You know what I mean? It kind of is in a way, because by doing that, you realize what you need to let go of, right? It's kind of the catalyst to get to the Pisces new moon energy. But so, but once you realize that, oh, okay, I'm holding on to this, or I'm fighting this, or I'm upset about this, or I'm, you know, clinging to this, or my expectation is this and it's not happening, then you can kind of stop and breathe and let it the fuck go. You know what I mean? Because if you could do something about it, you already fucking would have, right? And so it's like you kind of can use that Virgo energy, the opposite of Pisces, which nothing's in Virgo, but still it's the polarity, so you can still kind of tap into it to like get real with yourself and say, okay, this is what I can control and this is what I can't, right? And also, right now is not the time for fucking perfection and details. Pisces is just, it's just like a fucking vast ocean or body of water, you know, that is just moving all different ways, right? Like I said in my March 2021 video, Pisces is like some person out on a fucking float in the middle of the fucking ocean, just not giving a fuck, you know? Virgo is like, no, I'm not even leaving this shore until we have a ship, and I need supplies and I need fucking workers. I need people that will like work on the ship, you know, and we need to have a schedule and an itinerary. I need a map. We need to know where we're going. I need a compass, you know, like Virgo ain't going nowhere until it has all of that shit down, right? Pisces is just like, yeah, it's just exactly, it is what it is. You know what I mean? I think there's a quote in AA. What is it? Live and let be. I can't remember. I think that's it. Live and let be. That sounds so weird though. Maybe I just haven't said it in a long time. So, anyways, but this energy, this new moon, these alignments can also exactly be in the moment, you know. But the Pisces is also really good too for visualizing, imagination, you know. So it's like it's not that big of a deal if you're like using your imagination, if you're visualizing, if you're, you know, it's very it's very visual, it's very much a visionary. It's about pictures, you know, like people with Mercury and Pisces, usually they think in like visions and pictures rather than like words or, you know, thoughts or something. They're very visual. They have a really different way of kind of intellectualizing things, you know, and probably Moon and Pisces too. So, hi, Jaden. So yeah, it's just a time to release, to let go, to cleanse, to even detox, to heal, to let things just happen as they are and find the beauty in that, you know. Don't forget about Venus there. Find the fucking beauty in that. That is a beautiful way to get through anything. When you can start finding the beauty in everything, even the shit that is like horrific or shitty or scary, and just because you can't see the beauty in it right this second doesn't mean you won't see the beauty in it down the road, you know. And so if you can find a way, because Pisces, like I said, is about that interconnectedness with everything and everyone. And so when you can find a way to remember that you're not just you, you know, that spiritually and energetically we all come from this, we're all cut from the same cloth, right? That it's so much more than just you know. That is when you can really kind of start expanding, because it's not so much about you and your ego and what your ego wants anymore, right? And so when you can start, and Pisces, you know, normally people with a lot of Pisces are actually like not very judgmental at all. Now it would depend, you know, if they had something in like Virgo or, you know, Sag or something like that, that would be a little bit different. But normally, like people with like a shit ton of Pisces, you know, that's normally a really amazing trait about Pisces, is they can just, I mean, you could tell them anything and they would feel it, you know, because even if it's not something they can relate with or that they would do themselves, they're empathic and they can feel what you're talking about and feel how that would feel. So they then in that way somewhat do relate to you and actually feel bad for you, you know, and like you know, try to sympathize with you and help you, you know. So it's, Pisces is just a really cool energy, but here's where this can get a little hard. And I like I said, I don't see it going this way for many people because Venus is there, but Pisces can get overwhelmed with all of that emotional energy. It can feel like you're put on this earth that is so practical and so harsh and so hard and so just stiff and just harsh, like just so harsh and sharp and all of these different things. And Pisces is not, it's like the complete opposite. Like water is, it just, you can't just hold water, right? You have to put it in something, right? Like Pisces is just kind of spread out, it's not about all these harsh corners and, rules and, these harsh kind of events and situations that we deal with in life. So hold on, thank you for the super chat. Phoenix, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Phoenix, North Node at 21 degrees in Pisces. Is this new moon really significant for me? I feel it so deeply. Also Leo Sun 19 degrees, Leo moon 14 degrees, Scorpio rising at 19 degrees. So Pisces and Leo don't, the Pisces new moon won't be aspecting your Leo energy, but it may be trining your Scorpio rising. So yeah, if your North Node's at 21 degrees, I would say this is a very fated time. And there may be some very fated encounters as well. This is kind of like planting some kind of new seed for your future, probably, or something like that. Yeah, and see, Pisces is where you also transcend duality, right? Because Pisces is very dualistic. It's got the two fish, right, that are going opposite ways. So it's where you transcend duality. You transcend the whole like good and bad and all of that shit. Like you're not, and that's why they can be, a lot of them can be very non-judgmental, like I said, depending on the rest of their chart. I know that there's still judgmental Pisces out there. I'm not trying to box them in that much, but thank you, I appreciate that, Nithya. But yeah, so that's why they can kind of be so non-judgmental, because in a way they don't look at life through the lens of like good and bad. They kind of navigate life through their feeling, what feels good to them or what feels right to them. And that's why with this energy, it can be very easy to fall into things that are like, that help us escape, especially toxic things that help us escape, like drugs, alcohol, toxins, just anything that can be very toxic for our body. Neptune also rules toxins. So those are other things that you kind of want to watch out for, if you're getting the urge to escape. Now, some ways are healthy. Sometimes, yeah, you need a fucking break. You don't need to be constantly working or constantly, putting your body and your emotional self and your inner self through all of these really hard things. Sometimes you need to rest, relax, get away. That's fine. But watch for escapism tendencies around certain situations that maybe are just like, that maybe you should face, or maybe you should start to heal from. And another big thing you want to remember with this new moon is to feel your feelings. Like that is just so fucking big right now. And if you've ever worked with me, or if you've been watching me for a long time, this is like the number one fucking thing that I say. If you want to start fucking healing, if you want to start your spiritual journey, if you want to start your journey to loving yourself, to being authentic, to no longer being confused about who you are or where you're going or what the fuck's going on, to let go of trauma and grief and everything else, feel your fucking feelings. That is the first and biggest thing that you will ever fucking do. Because when you don't feel your feelings, those feelings don't go away. And that's why they come back up in patterns. That's why you keep going through the same thing over and over and over again, because that energy gets pushed into your body and your subconscious remembers it. Just because you don't, or because it's not on your mind all the time, doesn't mean that it's not still in you. That experience is still controlling you, just from behind you, so you can't see it as much. And so you're welcome. Yeah, you could be feeling very emotional right now too. That's normal. But allowing yourself to cry, to break down. And I know it's uncomfortable. We live in a society where they tell us like, you are weak if you cry. You are weak if you have a bad day. You are weak if you are depressed. You are just weak if you are upset or whatever. We're supposed to just go through life emotionless, basically. You know what I mean? Because even if you're happy, then it has to be fake, or there's something wrong with you, or whatever. Like, it's like, and everything, we always look for a quick fix to get rid of how we're feeling, to distract ourselves. Whether it's like, oh, I'm going through a breakup, I need to go to the club and get freaking hammered and forget about my breakup, escaping. Oh, like, I'm depressed and I can't figure it out. You go to a doctor and they just want to give you a bunch of meds, which is really just repressing it even more. Now, no offense. I know some people, I'm not saying that you should get off your meds. I'm not a doctor. That's not what I'm saying at all. And I've been on them and I've slowly transitioned off them over time myself, because that's what I felt was right for me. But I don't judge anybody that's on them. I know some people, that's their journey, and that's fucking fine. I am so cool with whatever people want to do, you know what I mean? But I'm just saying, in the sense that when you try to go to someone for help, they don't even half the time even listen to you, right? And they just, here, try this. Every time I went to a doctor, they didn't even know what would work or what they should give me. So they would just give me all of these different things to try that gave me horrible side effects that never fucking worked. And I'm kind of glad none of them ended up working, because I was able to find a way to, it forced me to find a way to naturally heal my mind state, my mental health, and my emotional health, which Pisces is about healing. And it's about very spiritual and alternative ways of healing. Not, Virgo is more traditional healing, in the sense of like, at least this is how I think about it, in the sense of like doctors, dentists, things like that. And I'm not saying not to do any of that stuff. I do that. I go to the doctor if I'm sick and I can't figure it out. I go to the dentist. Like, I'm not like completely natural over here. So I was just saying that. But with more of my inner self, that is for me, like, it forced me to find a way to naturally heal myself, and I was able to naturally heal myself. And I do fucking believe, and they make fun of people that say this all the fucking time in recovery, but I do believe that I fucking cured myself from addiction, and from depression, like severe clinical depression. I've been in psych wards. I was on every fucking medicine that you can think of. I was, on the fence about living every fucking day for so fucking long. My life was so dark and so miserable. And I found a way to get through that. And the biggest thing is to feel your fucking feelings. Surrender to your fucking feelings, because they may feel very real, right? This is where Pisces comes in. Doesn't mean that they're not real. They're real to you in that moment, but they do pass. They do fucking move through you. They do release once you feel them. They're there for a reason, not for you to just shove away, not for you to just distract yourself from, not for you to just repress. Everything we were born with, like, we have for a reason, right? That's awesome, Melissa. I'm really glad to hear that. Sorry, I'm just reading your comments. Thank you, Luna. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Sin. Yeah, yoga can be really great right now too with all this Pisces energy, or just great in general. Yeah, so anyways, yeah, so basically in life, we always want to just shut off our emotions. And this is why, like, if you go to somebody and you tell them, like, oh, you know, I, I'm having a bad day. I just feel like, I'm just not good enough, or like my boss doesn't like me, or like maybe I'm never gonna, get the job that I want, or like my boyfriend just doesn't want me anymore, or whatever the case may be. And someone will look at you and tell you you're crazy for thinking that way, which just further causes us to, oh, I'm crazy for thinking that way. This must not be right. You know what I mean? And I know when you say that to someone, people say that to people. I know they don't know how to deal with the emotion themselves. Therefore, they think that they're helping by saying, oh, you're crazy. You shouldn't feel that way. Right? And yeah, it's kind of like, as a society, especially here in the US, um, we are a culture that just cannot deal with anything that like emotions, for example, and a lot of other things. But so the biggest thing for me, and the biggest thing that I help people with, that I do with my clients, that I do with anybody that I work with, is to tell them, and the first thing and the biggest thing that will be with you if you continue to do it on your whole entire healing journey. The biggest tool is to feel your fucking feelings, to start feeling your fucking feelings, and you will notice how deeply fucking brainwashed you are to fight your feelings. Because I've had people that start feeling their feelings, and then they come to me and they're like, oh my God, like, it's like literally an automatic response. Like, I start repressing it before I even realize I just fucking had a feeling. You know what I mean? And I was the same way. I would literally, like, I'd start to tear up, and then boom, it was like my subconscious mind took over, because by this time it's a pattern, and that's what your subconscious mind does. It turns it in, like, after you do something for so long, it becomes a pattern, and so your subconscious mind takes over, and it just does what you always did: push it down, push it away, distract yourself, grab your phone, go talk to somebody, go out, just focus on something else, etc., etc. And that's not doing anything. That's just escaping the problem. The problem's still there. You know what I mean? So once you start paying attention and being aware and allowing yourself to feel your feelings, you'll notice how shut off you are from your feelings. But if you just keep going, and I have a whole blog on my website too about different ways to start feeling your feelings. It goes pretty in depth about emotional healing, and this is scientifically proven, by the way, for those of you that are very scientific and want like proof or evidence. They've done studies, and like sicknesses, disease, like actual physical pain, all kinds of shit, any dis-ease that we have always comes from unhealed, repressed emotions and trauma. And the emotions are part of the trauma. It's all kind of tied in together, right? And so when you start feeling your fucking feelings, you start noticing massive changes. And it's overwhelming at first. It's fucking hard at first. It feels like you're gonna die. Like, literally, you're like, holy shit, if I let myself feel this, like, I might die. I might like pass out. I might like seriously like not be able to do it. Like, I might like just like I've had moments where it literally felt like my heart was shattering, and like I was just gonna disappear, like I was just gonna die, or I was gonna like hyperventilate to death or something. Like, it really, really gets freaky sometimes. Not all the time. I'm not saying all feelings are like this, but when you start doing this, sometimes when you're having like a really deep feeling, or you're really hurt, or you're dealing with a traumatic situation that's being triggered, or something from the past that's being triggered, that's when it can feel it can get pretty intense, right? But Once you feel it and you allow yourself to walk through that and you allow it to happen and you don't try to run from it. No, I'm not going through the signs in this video. I'm sorry. But I did talk about the Pisces new moons in each of the sign videos that I did. And I didn't get to Aquarius, and I do apologize for that. I may still do it if Aquarians want me to do their videos still. It's just been a rough week over here. So sorry. But yeah, so once you start doing that, you start noticing profound, massive changes in your life automatically, but that does not mean to stop, because you will get on like this pink cloud. I've had a lot of people, once they get there, they're like, oh, okay, like I'm good now. And then they go back to how they were living before and they start repressing shit. And then within a month, they're like, oh my God, I'm so miserable again. And I'm like, have you been feeling your feelings? No, I stopped. Okay, well, that's why. Because you start feeling great when you start walking through that shit. Like you feel lighter, you feel more energetic, you feel less weight down, you may even start losing weight. I've seen people like literally start like losing like tons of weight because that energy your body is hanging on to. You know what I mean? And so, and that's healing. You're healing. You're shedding all of these things that have been, that you've used to identify yourself for so long, that you've kind of held on to and clung to for so long. But anyway, so once you start walking through that, you feel like unstoppable because you're confident. You just face shit inside of yourself that you've been running from for possibly years, decades, or your whole life. You know what I mean? So you feel confident as hell. You feel empowered, okay? And you get a piece of you back when you do that, because when you shut off an emotion, you're shutting off a part of yourself. And so you end up in conflict with yourself. And this is how people get confused on who they are. This is how people get confused on what they want. This is how people lack self-worth, lack self-love. This is how people end up hating who they are, right? Because they've made so many decisions and done so many things and repressed so many parts of themselves when making those decisions that they split, and then they don't even understand who the hell they are, because they've done so many things against what they wanted because of either somebody else or trauma, things that they needed to repress. And so you kind of, when you start feeling that stuff, you start coming back together with yourself. You start becoming whole. You start becoming aligned. You start healing. You know, that's healing. Healing to me is becoming authentic. It's not about like, I don't know, being kind or being nice or positive or manifesting or the LOA or any of that shit. It's about becoming authentic, authentically you. And healing, you know, is also to me about shedding away the parts that are keeping you from being authentically you, right? Dealing with the parts also that you've shut off that are also you, right? Whether you judge them as good, bad, or whatever, you know, they're still you. So you have to come together with those. And, you know, literally every time I've seen people that are unhealed are the people that are, you know, really miserable people that really, I mean, we all are unhealed in some way, shape, or form, but a lot of people think like when you start healing and accepting these parts of you that you don't like what if I do something like really bad or something like that, or what if somebody like, I don't know, had like, you know, thoughts of like hurting people and they repressed that part. No, the hurting people is a symptom from something else that they've repressed, and the whatever else they repressed that is the symptom of that is what they need to heal and come together with. And then the symptom of wanting to hurt people will go away, because the hurting people is like a symptom. So I have a lot of people ask me that when I start talking about this, so I just wanted to clarify that. But yeah, so hopefully that makes sense. And I went into that because it really, yeah, I do believe sometimes generational things can come as well, and those can be a little bit more difficult to heal, but still feeling shit can help, like emotion. That's why water deals with cleansing. And so feelings and water are, you know, when you like, even in the tarot, the cups deal with our feelings, our emotions, right? Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio deals with our feelings, our emotions. Water cleanses. That's why when you're upset, you cry, you know? That's why when you feel those things, you're cleansing yourself. So when you shove it down, when it comes up and you go, nope, not feeling that, you know, or you try to distract yourself or whatever, or you try to, you know, I don't know, go party or drink or, you know, get on drugs or whatever, like I did, um, to not feel, to numb it out, you're holding on to it. It's staying within you, right? You're not cleansing it. You're not letting go of it. It's not releasing. And so then it becomes heavy over time and it becomes a pattern, you know, that you see all the time, you know, and you start having the same thing happen to you over and over and over again. And yeah, suppressing it, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. And so until you finally deal with it. And sometimes it's not even about sometimes life things will happen in a certain way to where you do deal with it, you know, where it kind of like just something happens that makes you face it, you know what I mean? So there are other ways to kind of face shit, but I've noticed the most healing in my life when you feel, because even if other circumstances happen that cause you to face it and start healing from it, it deals with feeling still, right? It deals with feeling. And so either way it goes, feeling it and, you know, allowing yourself to start feeling your feelings will be so fucking beneficial for you, and not judging yourself for feeling your feelings, right? Which can be a little bit tricky at first. And that's where, you know, if you do start judging yourself for feeling your feelings, then you need to go into the judgment of yourself and feel that, you know, and but it really is so freeing. It's like it detoxifies your fucking body of all of this shit you've been carrying, all these feelings and emotions you've been carrying with you. And it's literally PTSD. Everybody has it in some way, shape, or form. There can be more severe cases and people can react to it in different ways. Yeah, if you can face your feelings easier in the bath shower, that definitely could be it. But fuck, I forget what I was just saying. I was about to say something. I don't remember what I was saying. That's gonna bother me. Right before I was reading comments. So basically, emotions are important. They detox the shit out of your body. PTSD, that's what I was talking about. I know. As soon as if you ever forget what you're talking about or you can't remember something, stop thinking about it and move on, and it will come right back to you. I promise. Happens every fucking time. It's crazy. So anyways, PTSD, we basically all have it, and that's what this is technically, right? It's basically when you go through some kind of experience that can be traumatic, and traumatic is not always like, oh, you know, like I'm, you know, something crazy. It can be something very small. It's a very profound internal reaction to something that happens, right? And so, but you hold on to that if you don't process it or heal it, right? You hold on to that if you don't allow yourself to naturally feel it and go through it. If you don't do that, then you hold on to it. And so every time that feeling is triggered, the event could be different, the people could be different, the situation could be different, but if those same feelings are triggered in any way, or sometimes it can be the same person or the situation or place or whatever, you know, but either way, if that's triggered, that comes back out and you almost can't control it, right? And that's the same thing. And you're also doing that when you You know, like if, you know, like for example, like if you have an abusive parent, or let's say like your dad was never in the picture, you could be seeking out very similar qualities in men as you get older, right? And so or like if your dad wasn't in the picture, you could feel like you hang on to men a little bit more than usual. It can play out in a handful of ways. That's not the only way that that situation could play out. I've seen so many like similar situations, or even like really basically the same situations that different people have had, but they deal with it in different ways, but it's still a pattern, right? It still deals with some kind of pattern. And so it can be, you know, if you grew up in an abusive household, that's in your early childhood when your personality and brain were developing, that's what you learned about relationships. And so you start thinking that that's a normal relationship. And even once you get older, you can start saying, yeah, that wasn't normal. But then all of a sudden you keep finding yourself in those types of relationships. And you're like, I never wanted to do that. You know, what happened? You know, but that child self of you, um, kind of developed that with the trauma it went through from seeing that and being in that environment, you know, for so many years. And so it's like you have to deal with that pattern. You have to feel the feelings that you felt as a child and allow yourself to actually feel all of them, not just like some of them, or to hold back. You know, you have to allow yourself to completely embrace and surrender to your emotions. And I know like a lot of people think like, oh, people are too emotional or people are out of control with emotions. No, if you're out of control with emotions, like if you're always out of control, then you're still not properly dealing with them. Because when things get out of control with emotions, like people that are really out of control with emotions, it's that they are still repressing things and not other things. And so it comes out in like big explosions, you know? And so, but if you just allow yourself to feel, it's like, and that's why if you like have a good cry and you fully let yourself cry and you accept whatever it is that you're crying about, like you're not still trying to fight it, when you just allow yourself to like really go into a place of acceptance and allow yourself to really cry and get all of it out, you don't stop yourself and you just let yourself do it, you feel relieved afterwards. You feel like a relief. You may not feel like, oh my God, I'm like fucking great now, you know, but you do feel like a weight has been lifted. You feel lighter, right? And if you just did it and if you continue to do that, you do actually start to feel great because you start feeling more aligned with yourself. You feel lighter and lighter and lighter. You feel more and more like yourself. You feel more empowered because you're facing these intense feelings and fears within yourself that you've hid from for so long, that you've defended against for so long, that you've kept like locked away for so long. Like you're facing your demons when you're doing this shit. You know what I mean? So nothing else is gonna fucking scare you because you just face the darkest shit within you. The scariest monsters lurk within our souls. And when you make friends with those monsters, they can't control you anymore. And nothing external to you is gonna scare you either because you just faced your biggest fear. You know what I mean? So, and then you become super empowered and you become super okay with yourself and aware with yourself. So anyways, but yeah, so right now with Pisces season, you know, Pisces, I also think of Pisces as like unconditional love, you know, just really unconditional love, and sharing that love with yourself and other people, you know what I mean? Especially with Venus conjunct this new moon, like just really try to just get into that flow state to where you're just relaxed, you're surrendering, you're not trying to force anything, And some ways that you can do this if you're having trouble as well is to literally lay like you're surrendering. Now, a way you can do that is to lay like flat and just fucking have your arms out. And as you're doing that, just completely relax all of your muscles. Um, and that can almost put you, because of how your body is physically laying, you know, you that can almost naturally start making you feel it, you know. Thank you, I appreciate that, because I feel like it looks a little still needs some work, but we're getting there, trying to wear it natural so we can help it heal. um, so yeah, laying like that. Also, if you're dealing with fear or a massive emotional situation or an intense situation, laying in the fetal position, and like laying in the fetal position, which if you don't know, I'm sure you do, you can always Google it, which is on your side, and holding your legs. I do this a lot when I am going through something very intense and dramatic and scary and emotional. Like doing this and just almost like hugging yourself, um, and really just allowing yourself to feel whatever it is that you're struggling with can really, and letting it out while you're in that position can also really encourage that emotional release as well. So those are some things that you can do if you're struggling with, you know, releasing, and even like hugging yourself. Okay, like if I start feeling very lonely, in the past when I've had a lot of issues with, like on my journey, when I had a lot of issues with self-love, and I like would think that like I needed somebody, or like I couldn't be by myself, I would literally like lay in bed and I would just hug myself, and I would just like tell myself, and I would be crying, like letting all my feelings out, and I would just be telling myself like, I got you, I got you, I got you, like and just like over and over and over. It's just such a fucking beautiful experience. Like healing is so beautiful, and that's something else that this new moon can bring. It can show you the beauty of just healing, and allowing yourself to purge things, and yeah, so I think that's about all I have to say. I kind of got a little lost there for a little while. Pisces, getting lost and shit, with the whole emotional thing. I actually don't think I even planned to go into that in this video, but I guess it needed to happen for some reason. Thank you, Luna. You guys are so nice. All right, so thank you again, Luna. Makes me happy. I love when people are like, oh my God, you're so inspirational. That's awesome. Thank you, Larissa. I love you too. Thank you, Nithya. I'm glad that you guys are getting something from this. Demille, I have not thought about doing guided meditations. I've done, I think, one or two for Patreon, not with like music or anything, just kind of like a meditative exercise to help to like do something or another. One was like for a ritual to release some kind of fear or something, and I think another was to like ground or something. But I don't know how I would do it, and it doesn't feel like something I'm like super passionate about, so I don't think that I would do it. For me personally, if I am not feeling very passionate or inspired by what I'm doing, I start feeling inauthentic and I can't do it. Now, other people, it's no big deal, they can do whatever, but if I start, it becomes very, very difficult. and I start getting very crazy about shit when I start doing that. And so that's why sometimes I'm kind of MIA from YouTube for a little bit, because if I start for whatever reason losing passion, or normally it's my own shit, like I have my own shit going on, but it's affecting what I'm doing, so then I back off, because I can't, you know, I'm not going to force myself, and I would rather do it and it be like real and authentic and genuine than do it and be like just smiling in your faces like, oh yeah, you know. You're gonna have a good month, Mr. Twin Flame is coming on a unicorn. I'm just kidding. But it just, I can't, so it's just, I just can't. So I have to be present when I'm doing it, or else I just won't do it. Yeah, sometimes it's not that I necessarily lose passion, it's that my passion gets almost bogged down by other things, like my ego, my Leo rising ego. You know, like, oh, well, you know, this video didn't do that well, so like people must not like me. So I guess like I just, you know, maybe I'm just like not supposed to do this or something, you know, and it just, fear kicks in, and it's just like, you know, stupid shit. And then eventually I have to deal with it, and I have to like face whatever it is that I'm fucking freaking out about. And then after that, my passion's like renewed, restored. And then I come back, and then I'm all like passionate about it again. So, oh my God, I'm so sorry, witch. That's so sad. Oh, thank you, Luann. I love you too. Yeah, so with new moons, so curious fishy. First off, thank you for your compliment. Also, with it being a new moon, they said basically like their sun is in Pisces, so they figured they would feel something from this event, but they don't really feel that much. It was like that on around my birthday as well for the Libra new moon. Like everybody was like, oh my God, I'm feeling great. And I was like, this shit fucking sucks. I was like not liking that Libra new moon, man. That was horrible. But thank you for the super chat. Infinitum? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Neo. Disassociation can be Pisces energy. I'm just vaping vape juice. Has like 3 milligrams of nicotine. Anxiousness, though, there's something that you're probably getting ready to release, or that you're holding on to or fighting, that your anxiousness is a symptom of fear. So there's something that you're scared of. Could be subconscious. So if that's the case, you may get anxious, but not like nothing maybe at that point like really happened to make you that way. Then it's something subconscious that you're anticipating. So watch your rising sign. Should be the main video that you watch. That is your horoscope, because the horoscopes, especially for astrology, if you're talking about just tarot, you can watch whatever. But if you're talking about astrology, the horoscopes are written based off your rising sign. But for the Pisces new moon, for curious fishy, you may not be feeling it. Just first off, it may not be anywhere near your sun, but also it just may, you know, more so, I would say moon signs and rising signs tend to feel it. But like I kind of said in the beginning, the new moons are a little more subtle. Okay, now this one is trining Pluto, which could make it, it depends on how it's kind of affecting your chart, if it's affecting your chart. There are some moons that, like new or full moons, that I feel more than I do others, and so it just really depends. But I always see themes. I always see at least some themes, depending on what house it's in as well. If there are, like Pisces is my 8th house, so themes of finances and debt and other people's money and relationships and things that, things that kind of tie you to other people, all of those types of things. So depending on where Pisces is in your chart, what house is in, can tell you kind of what themes you'll see. So even if I may not notice traits of the sign that the moon is in that time, I can still notice the traits of the house that it's in. So, but new moons are a little more subtle to me, and I think to a lot of people. Yeah, full moons are a lot more intense. That's where change and shit happens. Yes, it's normal to feel very tired, which is that's the exact reason why I haven't been posting as much. I've just been like I'm not really like in a upbeat filming kind of mood. I'm just like in a relax and chill and like go with the flow kind of mood. So rest, relax. Which signs will be most affected? So Pisces, especially like Pisces risings possibly, and if your Pisces sun is near the Pisces new moon, which I believe is around 20-ish degrees somewhere, I don't remember the exact. Pisces, and then the mutable signs, it will be a square, so possibly also Gemini, Sag, Virgo. Definitely Virgo as well, because it's happening in their 7th house. I would say maybe even Aries as well, especially Aries risings, because Pisces is in their 12th house, so that's even more so of that releasing, past, healing, otherworldly ending kind of energy for them. And possibly even water signs, because that would be a trine, so Scorpio, Cancer. So those are the signs. Rising sign will feel it most for those signs, but you may feel if you're a sun or moon a little bit more. Okay, so Nithya said, I'm just having a difficult time focusing on the right thing. I don't know what to do. Maybe you're not supposed to be focusing on it right now. And what is the right thing? How do you know? Maybe whatever you're trying to focus on that you think is the right thing is just something that is not supposed to be focused on. And that's what Pisces energy does. It kind of takes us away, right? And so just let yourself go with the flow these next few days, this weekend especially, you know what I mean? Yeah, like Melissa said, just be and embrace the energy, the energetic energy. My friend makes fun of me. He said one time when we one of the times we first started hanging out, I said something about the energetic energy. And I do that a lot too. Like I will like double things a lot, like double my words for some reason. I don't know why. I'm just not very good with communication these days. But so yeah, just embrace the energy. S. White, where did you learn astrology from? Do you have any suggestions for someone who's trying to learn more? I'm self-taught, kind of. So my boyfriend, who's self-taught, started to taught me like a lot of the basics, and then I kind of learned on my own from there. So suggestions that I have for learning more, my probably one of my favorite astrologers is um, he changed his name, but and I've mentioned him before, but Acuta Bavadasa. Basically, if you type in Nightlight Astrology, he'll come up. But his original name was Adam. He's a bomb ass astrologer. I freaking love him. Like, I love everything that he has to say. And so, for the most part, there's some things that I would say a little bit differently, or maybe just, I mean, that's just how astrologers are. But a lot of what he has to say is very interesting, and it really kind of goes deep into things, which is what I like about it. The Astrology podcast is a great place to learn, but they are very, very technical, very serious about what they do, which I appreciate. But yeah, Astrology podcast, they have tons of videos on basics of astrology. If you're looking for more like synastry, compatibility, aspects, things like that, Truth and Aspect here on YouTube, she's great. For a lot of synastry things that I may have questions about or may want to refresh on, I look at her stuff. But yeah, those, I would say those are the main ones that I really would trust. And you know, I mean, I have like other people that I watch occasionally, but I just really, like, I don't know. With those, I'm like, they're like the real deal, I know, and I'm just like, I don't know. And there's probably a lot that I haven't even ran into either. So, anyways, and also I am going to be starting an astrology workshop in the beginning of April. So, I will be announcing more about that soon and how to sign up, but I've gotten like people have wanted me to do it for so fucking long, so I'm fucking doing it, and it will be perfect astrologically for me because shit will be moving into Aries, which is my 9th house of teaching and learning, so it's all gonna be cool. So yeah, but it's mainly gonna be, I'm calling it a workshop because it's not going to be like a complete fucking course. It's not going to be like, oh my God, you take this and you learn fucking everything. You know what I mean? And boom, you're certified and you're able to be an astrologer. It's not going to be all that because I'm not certified. I'm not a professional astrologer. I'm self-taught. And I kind of like it that way. I may further it one day, but I kind of like it because I really go on experience. And that's what really helps me as well, is understanding the patterns and experience of astrology. That's how I read it personally. And through that experience, it's taught me a lot. And I've read probably thousands upon thousands of charts, not only just in actual clients and readings that are booked with me, but also just, I'm always looking at charts. And so it's just, I fucking love astrology. It's just beautiful. It is like just so fucking beautiful. But anyway, so I'm gonna be doing my own thing, my own course, workshop, whatever you want to call it, for basically, it will help you understand the basics and the foundations, the archetypes of everything. It will probably be a few months long, and it's gonna be a pay-as-you-go thing. So you don't have to pay it all at once, and it's going to be pretty inexpensive just to get access. But if you want access to like the full thing, it will probably likely be around $25 to $40 a month, and for a few months, which I don't think is very bad. A lot of people, I mean, some people fucking have their shit for thousands of dollars. It's like, no, I'm not gonna do all that, because I really think people should learn astrology. I really am passionate about astrology and want people to be able to at least, you know, say, oh, this new moon's here and I know what that's going to bring for me, you know, or hey, you have Mars in this sign. I know what that means for you, you know, to at least have the fundamental kind of archetypes of all of it. Thank you, Luna. Well, I also don't want to be professional in the sense that is like prim and proper, because that's just not me. You know what I mean? Like, and if you've gotten a reading with me, you know, like, I'm not all like, you know, sticking to a script or whatever. I would say I'm pretty close to how I am right now. You know what I mean? Like, so I like to talk to people and you guys, and like you're my friend, you know, like we're hanging out, you know, because that's just what feels the most authentic for me, you know. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. I think we're all hard on ourselves in some way, shape, or form, you know. But at some point, you do get to a point where you're just like, fuck it. And when you're like, fuck it, those are the fucking moments that are like my favorite. I love when I'm like, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Because those moments are like just fucking beautiful and should be embraced fully. Okay? Do not hold yourself back from fuck it moments. Those moments, you don't get them that often. So when you get them, you better embrace them to the fullest. Okay? Okay, so I'm gonna let you guys go. I went way over. I don't even know how I talked for this long because I really wasn't gonna say that much, but anyway. It's been fun chatting with you guys. Hopefully this helped you or gave you something. This live will stay up, so if you want to rewatch it later or come back, you totally can. And yeah, I love you guys. Happy Pisces new moon. Have fun going with the flow and getting your spiritual woo-woo side going. Have fun dealing with the energetic energy. Yeah, and if you see any of these themes in your life, let me know. Comment on this video or tag me on Instagram, whatever. Let me know because I would really love to know. I love when people tell me like, oh my God, so this is what happened and you said this, this, and this, and this is how it happened in my life, because it just really like, it's so awesome when that happens. I'm like, yes, that is crazy. Or I learned something and I'm like, holy shit, I didn't even think about that. I didn't even think it could play out like that. Like, that makes total sense though, you know? And so it helps me a lot. It's like crazy. So I love hearing about your guys' experiences in relation to like the horoscopes and really just your experiences in general with spirituality and everything. Like I'm down. We are spiritual ass bitches over here. So anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna go. Happy new moon. Don't forget to rest. Go with the flow. Just let it be, man. Let it be. Surf the wave. Ride the wave. You know? And yeah, bye.